Well, hello, and welcome to the Frost Seymour experience.
Hello, how you doing, Nick?
Pretty good. You?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, mate. Yeah, not too shabby. Well, what a day.
What a day indeed. We're here on match day one still, the second day of the tournament, of course. We're going to be with you throughout the tournament, giving you the one-stop shop for everything you needed to know what's happened on that particular day. And probably the biggest talking point that there will be throughout the tournament has happened today. Wouldn't you say so, Paul?
I'd say so, mate. Yeah, obviously we'll get into that shortly with the scores, but obviously we're obviously all thinking about a player called Christian Eriksen, who unfortunately passed out on the ground. Sorry, not going any further. Passed out on the ground. Sorry, earlier on in the game. And I seen it live at the time. It shook me, to be fair, mate. I didn't know what to think, but thank goodness, thank all the saints that he's obviously going to be okay. So. But yeah, big talking point today, mate. But we'll start off with match day one. We'll start off with football, and then we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment.
Okay, so the first game, of course, was Wales-Switzerland, which finished 1-1. Switzerland, did you catch the game, by the way?
I caught bits of it, obviously during my work time. We did have it on at the workplace. Yeah, I thought Wales played okay. I didn't think they played great. I think Switzerland deserved more than a point. They played really well, I thought. They were starting to make little breakaways all the way through their defence and so on. And yeah, I thought they deserved their lead. But obviously, unfortunately for them, of course, obviously Wales did get one back. Eventually, what did you think of the game, Nick? Did you get to watch it yourself?
I did. I actually watched this one in its entirety, and Switzerland were, if we're being honest, by far the better team. Deserved the 3 points. It's a great result for Wales, really great result for them, because I think this group so far has gone pretty much how we expected it to go. Italy looked... Now we've seen all four teams play. Italy, a big step above the other three.
Yeah.
Turkey, I would say, after watching that game, are a step below both Wales and Switzerland. So it's between these two teams for second place, in my opinion. And Switzerland, having dominated the game and only drew, I think Wales will be the far happier coming out of today.
Yeah. 100%. Obviously, if they don't get second, of course, they've got to think of the best performance they can get to make the one of the best teams to be third as well. So obviously, Wales will be thinking that at the back of their head. It would have been important to start off with a win, obviously, for either team. But I think a draw obviously favoured Wales. I completely agree with that, Nick. I'll be honest with
you. Yeah. Obviously, we saw Gareth Bale on show, who's well known to us in the UK for his time at Spurs and, of course, at Madrid. To a lesser extent. He didn't really do much in the game, although he did play the full 90, which has been rare for him in recent memory.
Yeah. Obviously, he's getting to that age now. Obviously, still quite young in terms of everyday life. But as a footballer, he's been playing for many years, of course. As in the 30s, that's when it starts getting in. But obviously, these are young football players these days. Have obviously got something. They're well conditioned, aren't they? They tend to go on a little bit longer. So fair play to him. He managed the full game. Just run down real quick. Obviously, the goal scorers is Embolo. Scored from a cross and a header from a corner. We thought he'd scored before, just missed, or just missed after. I think it was a sitter, but eventually he did net the goal. He looked threatening throughout the game, and obviously the equaliser up front, Moore, who's been touted as one to watch, especially the Cardiff striker seems to be doing a heck of a job in the Championship, and this may be his time to shine on the big stage.
May well be. We should also give a shout out to the Wales keeper.
Yeah,
whose name escapes me, but he had an absolute storming game, made several great saves.
Yeah, there was one very important save. I don't know if it was from Wales or Switzerland, one of the two. I think it might have been the Swiss keeper on this point now, so I've actually just gone the opposite end. It was a heck of a save. I mean, my goodness, it was probably the best save so far. But yeah, the Wales keeper was fantastic as well. I think if it wasn't for him, Switzerland would have easily ran away with this.
Okay. So that sums up Wales, Switzerland.
Yep.
And then we move swiftly on to Denmark, Finland. So we'll go over the game. So until the incident happened, it was 0-0, 44 minutes played. Nothing very much of note had happened really in the match. Denmark had a lot of the ball and hadn't really done much with it.
Yeah.
And obviously, unfortunately, Christian just collapsed to the floor. It was pretty grim, the cameras staying on him, I thought. fair play to the Danish team, just forming a circle around him to give him some dignity.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, the first half was not a lot going on, unfortunately. And as you mentioned, the cameras, if I can remember correctly, now it happened really fast, but it was actually on Christian just before the ball was thrown to him. But then obviously when he collapsed, you all feared the worst. And it's typical human mentality, I suppose, to want to see the grim stuff going on. That's probably why the cameras did what they did. But I completely agree with you. They should have just gone off to studio. And the BBC have come out and said that they apologised that the cameras stayed on it. But apparently UEFA had a camera that was on it and they couldn't control it. But what they could have done is gone back to studio and obviously just carried on the talk there. But things happened, unfortunately. But as mentioned earlier, thankfully Christian is making a recovery in hospital. He's stabilised, so that's really, really good news for him. I just hope he keeps going and he pulls through all of this and he can get back on the pitch, because I know obviously this can affect a life, let alone a career. So fingers crossed for him. Everyone's praying for him tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting how the game just pales into insignificance and everyone's just like comes together. Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah.
I guess it's quite nice in a way.
Yeah.
But then the game, incredibly, was restarted later in the evening, which was stunning to me. I couldn't believe it. I don't know how you felt about it, but
yeah, I think this show must go on mentality. It has its moments. You trip over and you get back up. Yeah, of course, your show must go on. But it's such a close thing. It's like these players are just know each other. They're best friends and stuff, So it was very harsh, and you definitely saw that in the second half with the Danes just being, their game wasn't on quite right. They were taking little snap tackles here and there. The first goal, which we'll talk about, I can never pronounce this gentleman's name, so do forgive me, anyone from Finland. Pojapalos, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. I think any other circumstances, Schmeichel would have saved that. It was directly at him as the header come in. Obviously, he went off to celebrate, then realised after maybe a second or two that, maybe I should calm it down a bit. So fair play to him and obviously the Finland players just to calm that down. But then it just didn't seem like Denmark had a momentum. They did have a penalty later on. Whether it was a penalty or not, debatable. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what you thought of that penalty, or if he should have took it, being a former teammate at Tottenham, obviously with Christian, of course, that would have affected him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a penalty. It was the correct decision to give the penalty, but you could tell, I don't think he should have took the penalty. But then every player in that team is going to have it in their, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Going to be feeling it. So yeah, I don't think the game should have went ahead. It should have been delayed a day or two, maybe.
But, yeah, give the players a chance at least.
But go ahead, it did, and let's not discredit Finland. That's one of their first wins in a group stage.
I think so. Yeah, this was their first, which is fantastic for them. Obviously, they played well. They held defence. They had to made some great tackles towards the end of the game, and obviously held out Denmark when they were pressing. In all fairness to them, obviously, like you say, got to give them credit. Regardless, it affected both of them, of course, as well. So it's not just Denmark, of course. But yeah, fair play to Finland. They carried on under these circumstances, and they did well.
Indeed. And then the final game of the day, which is still in play, actually.
Yes.
2-0. Just quick check the score there. It's Belgium beating Russia 2-0. Pretty straightforward win for Belgium. From what I've been watching, I haven't seen the last 10 minutes, but I've watched it until then. And games pretty much went as you'd expect it to on paper. Belgium far stronger than Russia. And really, we need to say about it. Romelu Lukaku got the first.
Yeah.
A bit lucky with that. It came off a defender and he was stood offside, but them's the breaks in football.
Those are the rules, aren't they? That's the way it goes. Sorry, I just thought I heard something going in my back pocket. But yeah, I agree. Lukaku was in the right position at the right time. He does what he does best, doesn't he? He's been fantastic this season. And one of the big players of the year, I think, especially for Inter Milan and everyone else. But yeah, I think he did. Really well to pounce on that when he did. Yeah.
Good start for my golden boot shout.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, it is indeed. I can't remember who I even said.
I think you said Kane. possibly.
Did I say Kane?
That's
Okay.
tricky.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll stick with that. So, yeah, tomorrow we'll find out if that comes through. But yeah, the second goal also, is it Melania? I do apologise, any Belgian fans. I do have really bad pronunciation. It must be an English thing, so I think lots of commentators are struggling as well. He scored again. It was a rebound. Shot was on. Good save by the keeper, but unfortunately bounced to him and he tapped it in really very straightforward. But yeah, I can't see anything other than that. I mean, the way Belgium are playing, I'm surprised they haven't got a third. Russia looking a little bit better in times from what I've saw so far. A little bit better, little build-ups, but I think Belgium have got this in the bag. 3 points will be theirs, I think.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Although Denmark losing to Finland makes the fight for second very interesting in terms of football.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people had Denmark pegged as quite easily the second place team in this group.
Yeah.
So that's opened a lot of possibilities there.
It does. It depends how obviously if Denmark can get a result against Belgium, of course. And if they get a result against Russia, then obviously that'll put them either on par or above Belgium, depending on how it goes. But obviously, like I say, Finland, they've gone at it. We did say they're a surprise team. They've got a little something about them. It showed how strong they were on today. So we'll see how they go going forward as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And so we come to tomorrow.
Yes.
Let's double check. Yes, it is still 2-0 Belgium. So tomorrow it's Group C.
Yeah.
Well, two games from Group C, I should say, and one game from Group D, which is, of course, the one we're very interested in.
Yes, of course.
And it's the Group D game that's up first, and that is England against Croatia. A big one.
It is massive. Obviously, last semi-finals of the World Cup. Obviously, Croatia did dump England out. Then they played in the UEFA League Nations, I think, and it was 2-1 to England. So they beat them back. So this is quite equal going into this. So I'll be looking forward to see how it pans out.
What's your score prediction for it?
I say England will run out. I say 2-0.
2-0. Comfortable win.
Well, ish. How about yourself?
I'm going to be pessimistic and say 1-1.
Okay. A draw to start. Nice.
Yeah, and that's at 2:00. Then at 5:00, Group C begins with Austria against North Macedonia. On paper, don't want to be unkind, but you'd probably call them two of the minnows of the tournament, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really. I think even in their own minds, bless them, they would say the same. I think I would dare to say it's probably got your what was it, dual result of the week or whatever, or boring game of the week or dishwater game of the week. One of the, I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, the damp squid of the week.
Damp squid of the week. Who knows? It could be a 5-5 game, which will shock us all. But I think Austria. I'd say maybe 3-0. I think Austria will be too powerful for Macedonia. I mean, fair play, Macedonia got there, but I think even Austria will be comfortable in that one.
And then the final game tomorrow is the Netherlands versus Ukraine at 8:00.
That'd be a good one. That.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to that scoreline? Do you reckon the Dutch are going to run out runners? Or
I do think the Dutch will win, but I don't think it'll be easy. I'm going to go with a score, and then both teams to score, and then the Dutch win 2-1.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I think Holland will win. Again, I agree with you on that one. I think, like I say, Ukraine will be tough. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1. I can see that. Very realistic possibility.
Captain Wijnaldum. If he's captain, of course, I hope he is. But yeah, I think the Dutch will win that one easily. So
there we go. That's tomorrow.
It is indeed. So we'll be back tomorrow night, of course, to review that. Obviously, these reviews are very short and sweet. But obviously, we had to cover a little bit more today due to the unfortunate circumstances from earlier on. Just wish all the best to Christian and his family, of course. And we'll catch you tomorrow.
And if you've got any predictions or disagree with our predictions, let us know.
Yeah, please do. Let us all know. Cool. Anyway, take care, guys. See you later.